It's me, Gabagoo Life, welcome. It's me, Gabagoo Life, welcome. It's me, Gabagoo Life, welcome. It's me, Gabagoo Life, welcome.
That's my opinion!
Welcome back to our series, The Real Ones, Words from Friends. I wish I could pretend like I was a good friend my whole life. I haven't always been a good friend, but I've become a good friend. Because why? Because I've had bad friends. To anybody listening, have you ever had a bad friend? Have you ever had a good friend? Have you ever had a new friend that was like so into your friendship and then they ended up taking so much, including your dog and your money and everything in your whole entire life, and then painted you to be the bad person? Oh, you haven't? Okay, yeah, me either. Absolutely. I would never put those people in my life. Have you ever been a friend that was Captain Save-A-Ho? Were you always saving your friend? Were you always there when there was a meltdown and you just had to catch them and you're just like, what is this friendship? Have you ever had a friend where someone took and took and took and took and took until you were empty? And then you're like, what do I have in this friendship? Yeah, I have. I'll tell you what kind of friend I am now and what my circle is now and how peaceful that is. I used to want to be friends with everybody, and now I am cordial and nice and curious with people because I think people are genuinely interesting. Friendship wise though, it takes a lot of work that a lot of people don't have time, energy, dedication. They don't have the mental capacity. And as you get older in life, it's harder to make the effort because you have your own life going on. If it's your dogs, if it's your relationship, if it's your day job, if it is people that are constantly pulling from your energy, and the reason why you have a limited amount of friends is because you like to be in restful state when you're not around people. I get that. My friendships require work. Work. What is that, Gaba? What does work mean? I'll tell you. You have to put in equal amounts of effort. I match energy. My friends match energy. We check up on each other. When we pop in each other's mind, we're like, hey girl, how are you doing? We reach out, we show up and support, if it's physical or monetary, or if it's just ensuring that we know that person is there by doing a check-in every once in a while. The friendships that are hard for me is the ones that have started really, really strong and been nurtured and created a wonderful foundation. And then something happens and those friendships become broken and dissolve. And then I have to go through the grief and the hurt and the loss of that relationship. Sometimes people fall out of friendship. No, I don't want that. I don't want to get close to someone just to have that all ruined because they decided that they didn't want to put any more effort. Or women, men, gays, everybody in between. If you're one of those people who get into a new relationship and then you forget about your friendships, don't be that friend to me, please. What do you mean, Gaba? I'll tell you, there's people who get so involved and so enthralled into a new relationship, you know, the honeymoon state of a relationship, that they forget their friends. You're not going to come back to me 4 or 5 months later after you've already decided to not engage and not participate and not put any energy into our friendship, and then expect me to coddle you when that relationship went sour because you went full 1000% right into the first 2 weeks of that connection. I sound like a bitter friend. I don't want to be a bitter friend. No, I hate being bitter, but I do have some friendships that I'm sitting thinking about like, ooh, you really hurt me. I've done nothing to you. I literally have sat here, done nothing to you, been a great brother, friend, cousin, whatever kind of energy you want to connect that to, and you still did me dirty. Is that a reflection of me? No. Is that a reflection of who's listening? No. People change, and I want to be a better version than the people that have hurt me. My circle consists of people that have been around for years, and I'm talking like from grade school, middle school. My friendship consists of people that have gone away, if it's to prison, or have gone away to another state and came back and we reconnected. Some friendships have had turmoil and be brought back together for a fusion of fun. I can forgive people. I'm really good about forgiving people. And I'm not one of those people like, I forgive and forget and, I never remember. No, it's important for me to always remember so that we don't have those disagreements. And if there's something that I dislike in a friendship, if it's the way I'm being talked to or I'm being treated, I'm going to let that friend know, because if I'm talking to a friend and I'm not showing that they have value in my life, my actions, my words, the way that I present in that connection is not showing up the way that I would imagine it to be. The type of friends that I have, we keep each other accountable. We're like, hey, you're not like yourself. Hey, you typically do this and you're not doing that. And we all look out for each other, which is beautiful, because that's the type of connections that you want. And it's easy. The friendships that I have now are so easy. Oh my gosh. I'm not bailing people out of jail. I'm not running around trying to play Captain Save-A-Ho. But I would play Captain Save-A-Ho to my friends because they mean so much to me. I feel like my friends are my chosen family because the people that I keep in my circle genuinely give me that unconditional love that I've always needed, that I've always wanted, that I really desired the most. And my friends don't want anything from me. What they want is time. And one of my favorite things to do with friends is do a game night. But I'm going to tell you something that we do that is just like, oh my gosh, Gaba, you're so insane. When they come over to a house or to wherever we're playing, they have to shut off their phones and put it in a phone basket and nobody touches the phone. Y'all, the way people get so squirrely when they're not able to get on their phone, it makes them be present. And for me, friendships is being present in the moment, in the spirit, in the joy, and recalling all the beautiful times that you've had together. Are friendships difficult? Yes, because you're dealing with humans that have a range of emotions, and you're dealing with friends that come from multiple backgrounds. If it's different races or different states or wherever they were born, I would hope that your friends aren't all the same race and identity. That would really scare me if I walked into a room and it's full of all white men and we're like, we're friends. Feels like a frat house to me. I'm not dogging on straight men, but definitely if I walk into a room full of straight white men and they all turn their head and look at me, I'm gonna run for the hills. That's not the friendship circle I want to be in. My friendship circle challenges my mindset to be better and stronger and more confident and more encouraging to the world and those around me. My friendship circles also tell me, hey, you're wrong. You don't got it. Hey, I'm noticing you're getting a little squirrely there, ADHD. And that's what I love, is because if you can have those open lines of communications and connections with somebody, then you're really able to get deep on life. And if you can get deep on life, your bond is solid. And I'm grateful for those I see occasionally as acquaintances. I'm grateful for those who I see regularly. I am honored to take FaceTimes and to answer emails and to work with encouraging artists and people that I hold value to. My friends are boss ass bitches. Yes, boss ass bitches. What does that mean? That means people that stand in their glory and their light, even if it's broken and even if it doesn't look good or feel good. This is who I am. No holds bar, masks off. This is my rawness. We as humans, we purge. I just think naturally. If you think about the people that you went to high school with, you're probably no longer friends with those friends. Try to be friends with everybody. That doesn't always work, because then your energy is pulled in a million different directions. And I have to say, I learned friendship from my mom. My mom has long-term friends. So many friends that she would open up her house for Christmas, and anybody that didn't have family or friends would be able to come over. And I thought that was a very beautiful moment, especially when sometimes we feel alone as humans. And if you have one person that's special in your life, which I happen to be the one person special to a few different people, and I'm honored that I get to be their one or two friends. I do pull away when I'm not feeling of value, when I'm feeling like I'm not being respected with my time, when I feel if I have to continually be the one to do the outreach and to engage and to try to find, the time in our schedule, that's exhausting to me. I don't want to be exhausted by a friendship. I want it to feel easy. Easy peasy. I know it's a pipe dream, but it does exist. The people in my life are so eye-opening and smart and intelligent. And what happens in friendships is people teach you things. So if you're an introvert and you're just like, I don't have any friends, I always wanted to make friends, you're my friend. Hello. Introverts are also my friends. Hi. Extroverts, you too, you extra guacamole extroverts. I swear to God. I love a group of ADHD friends. I love a group of friends that like to hike or people like to do artsy things. I just love people who are passionate about finding the space and time. I'd like to take a moment and define what a friend is. A person whom one knows and with whom one has bond or mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Hello. Friends with benefits is not a friend at all. It's just benefits. Someone with no connection that you got benefits with. Friends are supposed to be of a connection without sexual. So that's not a friendship if you're hitting and quitting. That's just someone you don't want to get emotionally connected to, but you like to hang out with them. I also want to address the elephant in the room. maybe it's more of a squirrel in the room. But I would like to define what acquaintance means. Acquaintance is a person's knowledge or experience of something, or a person who knows slightly, but who is not a close friend. You have a lot of acquaintances that you want to be friends with, I'm sure. Don't get me started on talking about acquaintances that we have allowed to be friends with. Ooh, we don't have time. We don't have time. We have to get to these questions that I ask my friends, and I want to get their true opinions, but I want to know what people think about me. So I asked my friends some really deep, private, simple questions, and I want to share those answers with you and those responses. Now, I have not listened to them, so I'm just curious what they're going to say. And I did tell them be as vulnerable as possible and be as real and honest, because I want to also recognize that I can be better as a human and I can be a better friend. Do I always show up and get an A+ on my report card? No. And that's what's great about being a friend, is you can own your flaws, you can own your mistakes, but when you continue to work at them and show up and be better, it just brings everybody closer. I want to talk about something that I used to hate. I used to hate introducing my friends to other friends, because then typically what would happen is those friends would become closer and then I would be ex-friend or excommunicated by friendship. When I was exiled, I had to grieve those friendships. I grieve when I lose a connection. Oh, babe. I grieve because I don't want to be alone without that friendship that I thought was so deep and meaningful. And I have to grieve that. And it hurts. It hurts so much. It hurts when you have somebody who has people around them who maybe don't like you, and you know you've never done your friend wrong, but you constantly hear in that person's ear how awful you are and how they shouldn't be friends with you. And then eventually it starts to break them down and they stop being friends with you because the cool kids said not to. That hurts, especially after years of close, deep, honest connection. That hurts. There are friends that you have been through thick and thin with. If it's a death, if it's illness, if it is personal growth moments like achieving their diploma, secondary education, if it's even reaching their dream, you're there. There's times in friendships when you get to watch your friends find themselves and find that freedom of who they are, and you get to applaud them along the way. You see, friendships are golden opportunities for us to find our soulmates. Yeah, we can be soulmates with our friends. I've lost friends. I'm sure many of you have too. Whew. Losing friends hurt. Oh, losing friends. Oh, so hurtful. I'm looking at my picture of my friend Capri right now, and Capri meant so much to me. What Capri gave me as a gift of friendship was the purest joy someone could bring. And her family brought me in as if I was one of their own. They were one of the biggest families where I was from. And I got to learn, and I got to love, and I got to celebrate Capri and her family. And then eventually her sisters had kids, and you get connected to everybody and stay connected. And we all lost her, and that was so devastating. My friend Bella the Meatball. Bella the Meatball. I'll remember once something she taught me, and the reason why I wanted to have this episode is because Bella the Meatball taught me to find my voice. Just a couple years ago, she taught me that it's okay to be scared, but it's not okay to not use your voice, especially if you have a platform, especially if you have the ability to. And that also goes for singing, which I'm going to sing a song for you. I'm going to sing it to Bella in honor of her, because when I was younger in high school, I auditioned for musicals, and the theater teacher, after my auditions, she looked at me and she said, "You know what? You should probably not sing ever again or audition." Broke my soul, crushed my soul. I'm 30. Ever since I was 18, I felt like I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to use my voice. I couldn't use my voice because I was told by someone in a position of power that wasn't good enough. Bella helped me refine that. She taught me to use my singing voice and to love every nuance that it provides. She also taught me to not be so extra about it. She's like, you can sing, but don't be extra. So every time I sing, I think to myself, are you being extra? So I learned a song and I started to sing more live, and I started to reach out to my live singing friends who provide me with honest feedback. And that's really what a friend is people who give you honest feedback. And Bella was that person for me. She's no longer here either. I want to continue to honor her and our friendship and everything I do, just so people know and they never forget about her light and her love, her zest. I don't quite know why people are put into our lives and the reason why they're put into our lives. But I do know that with effort, time, compassion, caring energy, we can find our right circle, and we can do it in a manner that doesn't bring in destructive relationships, that doesn't bring in codependent relationships that are going to wither away at that relationship over time. You know, sometimes there's friendships that don't work out because you're both healing and you both trigger each other, or you're too much alike. And that's okay to step back and be like, hey, we're too much alike. We probably shouldn't be friends. That's fine too. There's a deep meaning to me when it comes to friendships. And that deep meaning is you are my friend, which means you are my family, which means I will honor your time and energy and the growth that you put into our friendship, because I believe effort speaks volumes. You know what else speaks volumes? Being able to enjoy yourself with people and not have to entertain them, and not have to do something or be an expectation of doing something, or having to feel like you have to be someone that you're not. The truest friendships are ones that you can read each other's faces, you have the inside knowledge, you can finish each other's sentences, and you can be present in silence without feeling like you have to fill the space with some sort of word or some sort of energetic vibes. You can just exist and enjoy that existing together. Man, there's some friends that I think about that I wish I was still friends with today. There's friends I'm with today that I sit and contemplate, why am I putting so much energy into this? There's people that want to be my friends that I keep at an emotional distance because I know how much energy and effort it's going to take, and I don't have that. And that's a realization that you have to step back and recognize. How many friends you can juggle is such a beautiful introspection. Some people can only handle one. And if someone said, hey, this is all I can be as a friend, I think that would be beautiful, because then we can decide as humans if we want to participate in that energy or not. I would say some of my best friends are people who have been through a lot. I think I've talked enough, and I'm sure you want to hear a little bit more from my closest friends about some of the questions that I asked them. And without further ado, here are the responses.
3 to 4 years ago.
Probably close to over 15 years now.
Has been 23 years.
I want to say since sometime in 2007, probably.
About 7-ish years ago.
I would say that we've known each other 2 to 2.5 years.
So consecutively, we have known of each other for probably around 15 years.
I am honored to share with you about a friendship that has profoundly impacted my life. For roughly 14 years, Gabagool has been my friend, advisor, and my rock. Our story began unexpectedly yet beautifully. Full of life and spirit, Gabagool rolled into my salon on a moped, leaving an unforgettable impression. We naturally hit it off and our friendship blossomed. The purpose of our friendship was to be the sunshine to each other in a rainstorm. This bond has weathered several storms, each emerging stronger and more familiar. During an extremely challenging phase of my life, Gabagool counseled, protected, and comforted me like no other. In the midst of a personal darkness, Gabagool was the lighthouse, a beacon of unwavering support, unconditional love, and enormous strength. What impresses me most about Gabagool is his courage to remain authentic and his unshakable passion. The dedication to his community, the commitment to promoting acceptance, these traits are not just inspiring but also humbling. Gabagool's grounded nature, despite advocating for significant and deep causes, constant introspection, and celebration of beauty are all attributes that leave me endlessly impressed. His integrity in relationships and genuine empathy for social issues inspires me to emulate these traits, pushing me to become a more evolved version of myself. Every friendship is a work in progress, with room for improvement. An inherent part of our friendship is our acceptance of our imperfections and a joint quest for growth. Gabagool is constantly evolving. As part of this evolution, I realize the need to work on maintaining and providing the worth of this friendship that has shared the best and the worst of times. Our connection, our friendship, is a journey, a traveled tale of mutual growth, understanding, and boundless love. Like a fine wine, this friendship has bettered with age. It continues to be a life lesson, teaching me about the world and my place in it.
How we first met was you worked in a bar or a restaurant that had a bar that was in a little downtown area in a city in northern Illinois. And I used to go to it with my friends, maybe, once every couple of weeks or so. And you were a bartender. And so we met that way. And I used to bring a bunch of people in with me, and I was a single mom at the time, and so I would kind of get time out to myself to have grown-up time without a little kid once every 2 weeks. And so usually friends and I would either we'd go out to dinner or we'd go get a drink at this bar. And so and it was pretty much the same bar every time that we went to, so we'd end up spending quite a lot of time with you, and then you kind of just became one of my friends too.
And we met at a bar. I can't remember the name of the bar. There was 2 bars in Scottsdale at the time. And we both were starting out doing drag. And we just met that day. And he was very loud. And I'm not very loud. So I guess that's opposites attract, because we just became friends because of that, probably. So it's been, So it first started off with drag, and then we just stayed friends.
The purpose of our friendship is to allow each other to be who we are and support one another. I don't know that I look for purpose in friendship. I just look for true friendship, which is a sealing feeling inside my soul, how I can be myself, also be accepted. I feel accepted by Gaba, and I hope Gaba feels that way from me in our friendship. Doing crafts together. We did a fundraiser event together. He was like, girl, I need this, that. I was like, girl, I actually have this, that. We ended up having a fun, even craft session, donating epic antique curtains, a lot of fun stuff.
So this is an interesting question. What is the purpose of our friendship? And I had to reflect on this a lot before I could really answer it. Because I really didn't know how to answer it. Initially, I would say, and I could miss the mark here, but I think in my reflection, I think that you and I were a source of comfort for each other. We were a bit of a safety blanket for each other. I was overweight and miserable in life, and I had this cute boyfriend who, wanted to hang around with me and be with me and experience first things with me. And I felt blessed to have that, and I think, that was a safety blanket for me. And on the other hand, I believe that you knew you were gay, and I was a bit of a safety blanket for you in that way. And I think I would not change it for the world. I tell people that all the time, that my best friend in high school, my boyfriend in high school, I would not go back and change that. We had our first, loss of virginity together, that we were able to laugh our way through because we were the best of friends. And I absolutely would not change anything about our past, our relationship, our love. I truly believe that we were in love in our own special way. And I think we probably could have stayed in love. Would not have been fair to you or me, because you would not have been fully in it. But I think we could have stayed in love and been happy as we could have been. But I think to answer the question, in the past, the purpose was to be each other's safety and comfort.
Okay, question 3. A moment in our connection when you felt happy, loved, or supported. There have been a lot of those moments, so it's hard to pick one. I think maybe I'll go with one of the first ones, because over, this many years, there's too many, I think, to just be able to say, oh, just this one. So I'll just go with the first one. So the first one was around the time I was getting divorced, and I was in a pretty low place, and I think I was trying to hide it. I don't know how well I was hiding it, but I was trying to hide it. And I also was involved in a church, and some people in that faith saw kind of the damage that marriage was doing to me and were really supportive of me getting divorced. And other people that were part of that faith were encouraging me to stay with somebody who was a really unhealthy person for me to stay with. It seemed like they didn't really care too much about what the reason for the divorce was. And so it was a struggle for me, I think. And when my divorce was finalized, there was a divorce party thrown at said bar where we met. And there were, a good amount of people who showed up to support me, and it felt really good. And one of the things that you did, I don't even know if you remember that you did this, you created a special signature drink for me on my divorce party day. And, of course, it felt good to have people show up for me, but it also felt good to have somebody who saw me and valued me and was like, you know what, I can do something extra special for this person. It wasn't about having a drink for just me or anything like that. It was really about kind of that symbol of just doing something that was unique for me, somebody who saw me, who saw that I was struggling, and was like, you know what, I'm just going to do something as a pick-me-up. And that was, I would say, really early on in our relationship with each other. Maybe we would have considered each other like friends at that point, but I think it probably would have been at the very beginning of that, where we were really maybe more acquaintances than anything. So to have somebody who didn't really know me that well do something special for me because they saw that I just needed a pick-me-up was, I think, really meaningful to me.
When you were doing the Pride tours, you could have asked a lot of different people to co-host your show. And I felt very seen and heard, especially when you wanted to connect CAN Community Health with that night. It made me feel very much seen and heard with you. And that was a happy experience to do that, even though it was very, it's a different world now doing shows and being a show director. But I got to see that aspect of it, and it taught me a lot.
So any time that I'm with you, I feel loved, supported, and I hope that I make you feel the same way. But there was one day when we were chatting and you were pumping gas, which I'm probably going to tell on you now, but you were pumping gas, and you video called me and you said, I just wanted to say good morning and tell you to have a great day. And the fact that you took that time to just think of me and send me a message and I also agree with Luke. Like the look of surprise on your face when you see us in the crowd, and you know that we love and support you, and you can feel that through your facial expressions. It's just amazing, and we do love you. We love you a lot.
Third one is here. It says, share a moment in our connection when you felt happy or loved or supported. Well, that is all the time we're together. You're one of my favorite people to invite. Truly, Gaba, I like to invite to places I'm going to, but I do remember what sticks out with this question. I was psychotically busy, truly busy. Kids kept getting sick, just one thing after another. My mom in the, almost going to the hospital. A lot of different ailments all at the same time. And this was probably, I'm going to say about a year and a half ago. They kept reaching out to me or just sending me a text or a funny little quote. And I kept like, sort of quick answer and flying through. And I thought, my goodness, I am so honored right now. Gaba's thinking of me and just lending energy, thoughts, prayers. It's really cool. And that hit home to me. That made me realize I feel like a close friend with Gaba, because the most redeeming quality about Gaba is authenticity. And talent, it's true, but it's authenticity and vulnerability, as well as education, like the purposeful political side of all the things Gaba's fighting for in the world. I see that a lot on social media. Does not stuff it in my mouth or anything like that. There's a lot of understanding and room for us to be who we are when we're with each other. So authenticity stands out the most.
What is your most redeeming quality and why? I don't think you need a redeeming quality. I think you're great. But if we're going to say maybe one of the qualities that I love about you the most, because again, you don't need to be redeemed. You're already great the way that you are. But a quality that I love most about you is your ability to see the good in other people and to focus on really the good in other people and to make people feel loved and excited to be in your presence. I really love that quality about you. And I think it's been helpful to me at times when maybe I'm not feeling like the life of the party. You tend to know how to get me out of that shell. And it makes life more fun to have you in it. So I really love that about you.
Your most redeeming quality is that damn smile. That is an award-winning smile that I think could get you out of literally anything you've done wrong. Just looking at you smile makes me smile. It's so infectious and just incredible. And I would say that is definitely your most redeeming quality, in my opinion.
I think that you're the only quality that I've ever been like, oh, Gaba, what are you doing? What are you doing, kid? Was, you get your feelings. And when you do that, sometimes you go off on Facebook and sometimes it's not the most flattering things that you put on there. We all know that you're coming from a place of hurt and you're coming from a place of, I don't care what you think, but also this action hurt me. But yeah, that's the only thing that I've seen from you that like I said, makes me think, girl, calm your shit.
Well, if I have to pick one, I would have to say you become too celebratory as a trait, and you need somebody to cut you off from shots while performing so that you don't mistake other performers' names. But I love you how you are.
Probably your approach to being kind. Sometimes you use sandpaper instead of silk. You can tend to be a little judgmental. Yeah, sometimes you can come with a kind heart, but with a very abrasive. I still love you though.
I would say that you are very passionate and there is a sense of passion that can be very enduring, and then there's one where it can take you to a point where can get you into some trouble. And I see your passion, but I also see it takes you to that, let's call it the dark side, to where you get tunnel vision and you kind of focus and hone in on that. And that is the thing that I would say maybe needs a little bit more tweaking. So then you see the bigger picture and not so much of how you're feeling in that emotion. So not using so much your reactive brain, but looking at that proactive brain and taking a seat back just to see how it is affecting the broader picture of what's going on.
I call it being relentless.
Relentless can
Passionate?
be
I don't know.
relentless. It is a good quality, but it is one that can muffle your voice, and your actual what you want to say gets stifled by that. When you do have a good point of view and a reference, but because of your passion, it can get in the way of people seeing that, because they see you more as a rebel rouser than someone who is standing on that soapbox for the positive. They think it sometimes can come across more as a self-indulge, sort of like, look at me, I'm gonna, cause waves. When, from my point of view and our experience, I see you as someone who is passionate, but can go that route of to the dark side is where I'll leave it at. Well, Gaba, I am your mother and father. That works.
Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing. If you have a friend or a friend story that you'd like to share, please share that in the comments. This is all about us sharing our personal experiences and humanizing the fact that we're all trying to be a good friend to ourselves first. This has been our Friends episode. I'm Gabagool.